4 kilometers of the Circuit Ricardo Tormo circuit in Valencia, 2.9 miles, constructed in 1999. It has been a staple of the MotoGP World Championship and season finale for many years. 9 left-hand corners, 5 right. You weave and you wind your way through this amphitheatre here in Valencia. A fantastic circuit that produces great racing for the European Talent Cup, which is coming up next. So as we get ourselves ready for the Hawkers European Talent Cup, the final race of the day, race number 2. And will we see it be 4 wins out of 4 for Joel Esteban? Well, in a matter of moments, we will find out what the results will be here at Valencia. So the riders make the way around the grid and toward the start-finish line to set up themselves before they get underway for this 17-lap European Talent Cup race. The sun is still shining here in Valencia. It's been out all day. The track is warmed up nicely for this track action to come to crescendo here in Valencia.
Here's what happened in race 1 then earlier on today. Joel Esteban leading from pole position, but it was Brian Uriarte who got the whole shot, but Joel Esteban, the number 78 rider, didn't allow Brian Uriarte to lead for long. He got up the inside at turn 2 and led from the front. Maximo Martinez was in the fight as well. That's Casey O'Gorman on the number 67 Vision Track Michael Laverty led bike. Al Sahuti there, unfortunately crashing out after a mechanical problem with his Leopard Honda. And then we saw a crash for Dodo Boggio. That unfortunately brought out the red flags. Hopefully we see Dodo Boggio out for race 2 here this afternoon. But on the restart, it was a 5-lap dash for the European Talent Cup riders. Joel Esteban, Brian Uriarte and Max Martinez, the top 3 there. For Max Martinez, unfortunately, he encountered a mechanical issue with his machine. You can see here just holding his hand up and pulling up to the side. He did get going for another couple of laps, but unfortunately the number 28, the reigning champion, of course, he had to pull into the pit lane with a few laps to go. So another DNF for Max Martinez, an unfortunate way to kickstart his championship defence. Back at the front, Uriarte led from Joel Esteban. Rico Salmello, who started from the back of the grid in the initial race, was up into the podium fight after restarting from 6th place after great work in the open exchanges. Guido Pini there as well in the fight for victory, the Italian. It all came down to the last corner, and that was Joel Esteban holding firm and getting it pinned down the straight to take the checkered flag in P1 for the 3rd time this season. 3 wins from 3, 2 in Estoril, 1 in Valencia. There's 1 more coming up today at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Can anyone beat Joel Esteban, dominant rider in the Hawkers European Talent Cup so far? Beautiful conditions then. 35 degrees, a little bit too warm for my liking, but we're in a nice cool commentary box, aren't we, Liam? So all good our end. Hopefully it's not too warm for the riders. Final race of the day coming up here in Valencia. Winds a steady 6 kilometers per hour. Track temperature creeping up towards the 50-degree mark, so very greasy out there for the riders. Difficult conditions. We saw in qualifying yesterday, didn't we, that in the afternoon the riders were having a little bit more of a tough time. The lap times were a lot slower than this morning, so expect to see a little bit of a different race maybe this time around. Indeed, it'll be a little bit different to the morning race where track temperatures were on the way up, but they weren't at the heights they are now, even though there are some clouds in the sky that may just bring the track temperature down ever so slightly, but they will be definitely warmer than they were today. So it could bring tire life into this race, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Yeah, absolutely, indeed. It was a fantastic race earlier on today. If you didn't tune in, then I'd advise watching it, because as always in the Hawkers European Talent Cup, it's well worth a watch as the riders then get some refreshments on board. That's good to see. That is very good to see. That is Dodo Boggio then, who crashed in the opening race. His crash brought out the red flags, and we're going to get to know him a little bit better with this little video here.
I'm very happy. For me, it's the first podium here in the European Talent Cup, and I'm very happy for this podium. The second race, I do an error, I crash. This is my second year here. I have a lot of friends. This team is very cool. This team is a family. We work together with the team, with Nico. But I come here in Valencia very more strong, and I think that we can do 2 very good races here in Valencia.
Great to hear then from Dodo Boggio. Like we say, crashed out heavily in race 1 and got stretched away. Obviously had a little bit of a checkup in the medal centre, but looks like all is okay for the young Italian, so that's fantastic to see. Teammate, of course, to this young man, Joel Esteban. Wins 3, of course, podiums 3, poles 2. Maximum points, maximum poles on offer for Joel Esteban. A dominant start to the 2022 campaign, and the big question is, Liam, can anyone beat him here in Valencia?
Well, it's going to be a tough ask for everyone, because not only has Joel Esteban proven that he can race by leading away, dominating the race, but he can also do it in a fight as well. So there's nothing that he can bring to the table that has any weakness so far.
Brian Orote launches from P2 once again. He was on the podium, of course, early on today. His second place finish, his first points of the season after that double DNF in Estoril. So yeah, good start here in Valencia. He'll be hoping to at least back that up with another podium today. This afternoon he was 4th overall last year, so comes in as one of the pre-title favourites, pre-championship favourites. He won here in Valencia last year, so has race winning pedigree. Obviously got the podium earlier on today, so knows this track very well, goes fast to this track and starting from second. Brian Orote is certainly in the victory hunt. Now then, Rico Salmela, of course, is also in the victory hunt because he got himself up into the top 10 after that grid place penalty in race 1. There you can see back-to-back podiums, P3s in Estoril and Valencia. The red flag helped Rico Salmela to get into the podium fight, didn't it? We'd never like to see a red flag, but Rico Salmela, it was good for him to start from 6th place. Obviously the riders rolled back together again and ultimately helped Salmela to get on the podium. So great race 1 overall for Salmela, wasn't it?
And the good thing for Salmela this time around is he won't have to do that hard work from the back again. So he'll be starting from 3rd place in the grid, is where he qualified, and it should make everything a lot easier. Now, we were talking about tyre life at the start of the programme here, and for him, he must have pushed his tyres all the way, especially on that first part of the race, because coming from the back of the grid, it's not easy having to overtake 20-odd riders to get yourself up into 6th position before the red flag came out. And for this one, then that won't be so much of an issue.
Yeah, spot on. He won't have any issues like that. In race 2, we just saw Cesar Perea. He started on the front row, benefiting from Salmela's penalty, but he's back down to where he qualified in 4th place. Now then, here's Guido Pini, currently 2nd in the championship. He finished 3rd in the first race in Estoril. You can see then he's had a pair of P4, so a good start to the championship for Guido Pini. He was 11th from 10th at the end of last year here in Valencia at the end of 2021, and he's qualified 5th this time around. So good start to the season for the young Italian, the AC Racing rider. He's 2nd in the championship. Joel Esteban's closest challenger, but already 33 points down, so these guys really need to try and beat Joel Esteban today to not make that gap look very, very big going into round 3 next time in Barcelona.
6th in the grid is Alberto Ferrandez, and well, after a shaky start to the season in Estoril with a back of the grid and a crash in race number 1, he picked up a 6th spot, and he backed that up in race 1 earlier on today with another 6th spot. And as you can see, the fans are out in force. The Alberto Ferrandez fan club he's got a lot of supporters in his corner, hoping that he can have another great race here today.
I love that. I assume it's a lot of friends and family, but even so, it's great to see them coming out here to support them. A massive banner must be cool for a rider like Alberto Fernandez, obviously just starting out on the road to MotoGP, to see support like that in the grandstands. We saw it last year a lot with Fermin Aldeguer. He had a nice little fan club following him around. So yeah, as we focus in then on Maximo Martinez, it is not the start to his title defence that Max Martinez would have been hoping for. Now, race 1 today was through no fault of his own, a mechanical issue. Anyone can suffer with one of them at any time, so can't do anything about that, unfortunately, for Martinez. But his double crash on the first laps in Estoril has hampered his start of the season. So first and foremost, I think for Max Martinez today is a good haul of points, and then if it's on the podium or a race win, then absolutely even better. Now there we get a brief look at Dodo Boggio. Thankfully we see him racing here in race 2 after that heavy crash in turn 1 in race 1, sorry, that brought out the red flags. So here's the grid then for race 2. Joel Esteban from pole, from Brian Arriato and Rico Salmela back on the front row where he qualified after his misdemeanors in qualifying. Maria, Pini and Ferrandez complete row 2, with Martinez, Boggio and Casey O'Gorman rounding out the third row.
Heading up row number 4 is Hakim Danish, in 10th spot ahead of Perez and Al Suiti, who will be hoping for more luck in race number 2. Emmanuel Brenton, who picked up his best result in race number 1, goes off 13th ahead of Carter Thompson and Moodley. Alicina is starting off row number 6 ahead of, well, row number 7, other runners and riders. Van Treekt back there in 20th, running at the top 20. Rioth in 21st. Luciano and Daniel in 22nd, 23rd. Armario in 24th. Fernandez in 25th. 25 and Fernandez, that goes hand in hand. We know that from the World Championship. And Wojciechowski, the Polish rider, starting on the back row of the grid as the riders now get ready to start their warm-up lap action for race number 2 here in Valencia.
Final race of the day then. It's been a bumper Sunday, as always is, in the JuniorGP paddock. 5 races have come your way. Well, 4 races have come your way, sorry. This is the 5th. What is going to unfold? It's going to be another cracking race, hopefully, like we saw in race 1. It always is, isn't it, in the European Talent Cup. The riders vying for the title have just got to try and beat Joel Esteban today, because if he makes it 4 from 4, then that's an already uphill task for the riders chasing him. But he didn't have it all his own way in race 1. He did eventually come out victorious, did Joel Esteban. 32 degrees air temperature.
So the temperature has been coming down ever so slightly, but it's still very high here today for race number 2. The riders make their way around the warm-up lap, and as you were saying, Elliot, yeah, Joel Esteban, he's walking away with it at the moment so far at the start of the 2022 European Talent Cup. I'm just wondering what the other riders have to do to try and stop him.
That is a fantastic question. One I don't know the answer to, unfortunately, and one the riders might not know the answer to either. But it was a close race in race 1. He didn't streak away like he did in Estoril. And Estoril had such an advantage over the rest. I'm not sure what he found over there. But there you can see the championship standing, 75 from 75 for Esteban. Pini in second, 33 points adrift. But yeah, he's not got quite the same advantage here in Valencia. It's a track that the riders know better than they do Estoril, because they've been here a lot more before in the past. So it's going to be interesting to see what that number 78 can do. Starting from pole position again, can anyone beat him and stop him from making it 4 from 4? We'll find out very soon indeed.
Well, the riders make their way around the final part of this warm-up lap, and then we will get underway for the Hawkers European Talent Cup race number 2. 17 laps of heated action. It is to be said out there. It's one of the most exciting races of the day. One of the most exciting races of any series, to be fair, is the European Talent Cup. Some of the biggest and brightest stars make their way into this series as they put a foot on the ladder on the road to MotoGP. Can we see some of them in MotoGP in the not too distant future? Well, there's a few of them on this grid that we will definitely have to keep an eye out for.
Time will tell in that regard for sure. Valentino Rossi, the Grazie Valley sign, looking over him as we get set for the final race of the day. The final riders just making their way up to their grid slots. Rico Salmela just parking up in P6 instead of P3. Will shortly be underway the final riders there, just pulling up to their grid slots. Green flag will wave in the background, the red flag will be removed, and we will shortly be underway for the final race of the day. Engines up, lights on, and we will soon be underway here in the Hawkers European Talent Cup Race 2. It's another great start from Brian Uriarte on the number 51 bike. He will surely get the whole shot from second on the grid. A fantastic launch. Will Joel Esteban be able to keep P2 from Rico Salmon? It looks like he will be. The number 27 not quite close enough. So Esteban comes into turn 1 in second place. Brian Uriarte getting the launch. A couple of riders there winning wide, but it's going to be Brian Uriarte. A little bit squiggy on the brakes, but keeps it all under control for now. Uriarte leads.
Another great start there for Max Martinez. Coming from 7th with the red, he's now up to 4th spot early doors. So he's putting himself in prime spot to challenge for a podium position. Fingers crossed he can make it to the flag this time without that DNF in race number 1. Hakim Danish, another great start as well. He's gone from 10th in the grid up into 5th as they make their way round up towards turn number 6. So some fantastic and quick starters coming thick and fast throughout the field. So running on the green there was Max Martinez, I believe. So you don't want to be doing that too many times. Just a reminder, if you do that 3 times, you get a warning. And if you do it 5 times, you'll be given a long lap penalty, which will completely ruin your race.
Solid start then from Max Martinez up into 4th from 7th on the grid. He started race row 3 for race 2. Now then, rounding turn 11 for the first time in this race. Uriarte leading from Esteban. Rico Salmella is there. Max Martinez is there. As we round then turn 13 for the first time over the crest of the hill. This is where the action can be won or lost on the final laps. 17 laps to go, soon to be 16. There's Max Martinez then making up a move to the inside of Rico Salmella. As we complete lap 1, Joel Esteban runs wide there. I think he ran wide at the exit of turn 6 as well. So just got to be careful there as Joel Esteban in these opening few laps.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a moment for one of the riders further back. Not quite sure who that was, but 4 abreast as they come across the line. Is it going to be Max Martinez, your champion from last year, leading into turn 1? Yes, it is, but will he run wide? A few of them running on the green there. That was Brian Uriarte, but your championship leader, Joel Esteban, looking up the inside, but not making it stick. He slots nicely into second. So there's lots of action, thick and fast throughout the field as we look further down the grid, and Casey O'Gorman's made a solid start as well as Joel Esteban makes another pass. So once you get back again comes Max Martinez. It's champion versus championship leader so far in the early stages of race number 2 in the European Talent Cup, with Brian Uriarte making sure that he doesn't get left behind by the championship leader as he's back up into second. Now there's so far this race, Elliot, there's been a lot of riders running into the green.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that for you. We'll get it pop up on our time screens if we get any warnings or any long lap penalties coming the rider's way. But Max Martinez means business here, doesn't he? He knows that he's lost a lot of ground already, 75 points to the current race leader, the current championship leader, as Salmella just flirts at the inside, not quite this time around. Yeah, Max Martinez knows that he has to get a solid point scoring ride here. He cannot walk away from the opening 2 rounds with 4 DNFs or 4 no scores. So Max Martinez, first and foremost, like we said on the grid, get a decent haul of points and then build from there. But he means business in race 2. A rapid start from the 3rd row of the grid, already up into 3rd. He's led the race briefly, but Joel Esteban, like he did in race 1, isn't allowing anyone to have the race lead for long.
Yeah, that's the sign of someone that's filled with confidence if a rider can lead the way. And as soon as someone comes up there inside, they retaliate straight away. As we see with Brian Uriarte, a little bit of elbow-to-elbow action as they come down the straight there. Nothing too untoward at the moment. And Max Martinez just says, thank you, boys, I'll have a bit of that, and rides around the outside of Uriarte into second. Will he go for a move on Esteban? Yes, he will.
Absolutely,
so that's a back end kicking out, sliding it into turn number 2. That was beautifully done there. Has he held it? Yes, he has. So Max Martinez doesn't take 1 rider, he takes 2 in the space of 2 corners. But Esteban fighting back immediately like he did last lap, and Martinez is having none of it as he goes into turn number 5 and fights straight back again. So this is great action so far in the European Talent Cup, and it's only lap 3.
That was copy and paste from the previous lap, wasn't it? Max Martinez getting up the inside at turn 2. Esteban reacting at turn 4 straight away there. Martinez getting back at the inside at turn 5. Fantastic stuff. 15 laps to go, remember. A long, long way to go, and it's already getting feisty here in the Hawkers European Talent Cup. So fantastic racing. Max Martinez then leads the way. We said he means business. He really does. He's obviously got the pace here to lead the race. Can he convert this into a podium, a first podium of the year, would you believe it or not? That is the 67 of Casey O'Gorman getting busy as well. down in the lower ends of the top 10. He was 8th across the line. So Casey O'Gorman, the number 6-7, going well once again, the Irishman.
Yeah, he's been having a fantastic opening start to the 2022 campaign as he competes in the Red Bull Rookies Cup.
Oh, that's a moment.
That was
Danish.
for, yeah, Danish, wow. You never want to lose the back end coming through that corner, and thankfully Hakim Danish did hold on to that there. But yeah, Casey O'Gorman, great start to the 2022 campaign so far. A 4th place in Estoril last time out, and another great result earlier on today in race number 1. So yeah, the Irishman definitely showing his prowess in European Talent Cup as the riders fan out across the straight into turn number 1 as we start another lap, and it's your championship leader Joel Esteban who retakes the lead ahead of Uriarte, and Max Martinez slots into 3rd with one of the riders, Ferrandez, running out onto the green as well there.
Slipstream City down the front straight, 0.8 kilometres long, of course. Plenty of time for these guys to get up into the slipstream, use it to their advantage, pull out and try and make a pass. And that's exactly what Joel Esteban and Brian Uriarte did on Max Martinez. We're going to see the lead change a few times, aren't we, between now and the end of the race. We get a warning for number 54. That is Alberto Ferrandez. We saw him run wide at turn 1. He's already got a track limits warning. So with 14 laps to go, he cannot make that move onto the green paint twice. He might have already done it there on the exit turn 6.
I think he did actually.
Wide, so we'll keep an eye on that for you, of course. Ferrandez just 7th place across the line in that second group of riders chasing down these quintet there. They've just lost touch slightly.
And we saw from similar to race number 1, Joel Esteban was touching his seat, telling the riders to try and follow him, which if you try and do that to anyone, especially in the European Talent Cup, they'll probably just see red mist and try and overtake you at the next corner. So yeah, there's not much point in doing that, especially when you're in the lead of the race. You're just telling someone to do that so that you can literally break away without it being interfered at all. But Brian Uriarte is looking very comfortable in 2nd spot. As soon as Joel Esteban starts trying to break away, he just follows him ever so slightly. Max Martinez looking up the inside of Uriarte into turn 14 ever so slightly, not getting the job done, but that might leave him under pressure from Salmela and the number 93 of Guido Pini. Went to turn number 1. Oh, that was late braking there from your championship leader Joel Esteban. I thought Uriarte had that for a second there, but not to be. So taking off more laps, Pini up the inside of Salmela. Yes, he's done it. That was a beautiful move from Pini, and he's been really showing his class so far today. Some clean moves through race 1 and now in race 2.
Yeah, classic turn 2 move, wasn't it, from Pini up the inside, up into 4th place, demoting Salmela to 5th. So Casey O'Gorman now is leading the chase in 6th place as we get confirmation then. A lap later than we said. Oh, that's Max Martinez running wide there, getting a little bit out of shape. Number 54, Alberto Ferrandez, has a long lap penalty for exceeding track limits. So Alberto Ferrandez has already touched the green paint 5 times in the opening handful of laps. So Alberto Ferrandez then will have to take a long lap penalty. That's going to push him well outside the top 10 for now as we get a replay of the race start. All nice and clean off the line. Number 51 of Brian Uriarte getting a fantastic launch again, Liam. He did that in race 1 as well. Got it lit up and down into turn 1. Grabbed the whole shot. Esteban just keeping P2. No dramas there whatsoever for the race leaders.
Yeah, a very clean start all the way through the grid, to be honest, for the start of race number 2 here in the European Talent Cup. As they come through the fast left-hander, poetry in motion there, and it's all as you were in race number 2 with Esteban still leading the way. Have we got a change for not a change for 3rd, a change for 2nd. That was Max Martinez taking no prisoners into turn number 14, and he passed not 1 but 2 riders. That was Uriarte and Pini, as Pariah has crashed out the number 18. That's a shame for the number 18 rider. But it's Max Martinez who takes over at the front at the end of the straight. Has a small frame paying dividends as he can use his lower stature to just blast past the taller riders, but it wasn't for long as Uriarte comes back up the inside, and that's Pini up the inside of Esteban into 3rd spot. So your championship leader getting beaten up a little bit here. He's dropped from 1st to 4th in a handful of corners.
There we can see in the background Casey O'Gorman there, the number 6-7, and Dodo Boggio, who's just set the fastest lap of the race, have reeled in the top 5. So it's now a lead group of 7 with O'Gorman and Boggio doing fantastically well to bridge the gap And that is the number 25 of Gonzalo Perez, I think, in 9th place. It's one of him or Alberto Ferrandez. I think, actually, it's Alberto Ferrandez, the number 54. Yes, it is. So he's got to take a long lap penalty, unfortunately, for Alberto Ferrandez. So he'll be needing to take that in the next 3 or 4 laps. I think it's the next 3 laps if he wants to avoid a penalty or a further long lap penalty.
Yeah, it's not good for Ferrandez getting that long lap penalty there. So, and we've also got a warning for number 8 and 28 track limits. So your 28 of Max Martinez, well, that could be disastrous for the champion and also for his hopes of winning this race if he manages to pick up a penalty, because, well, it's only lap 6. So with so many laps still remaining, 11 is across the line, then he's going to have to be very careful he doesn't run onto that green any longer.
Yeah, he's not been keeping his powder dry, has he, Max Martinez? He's been getting very busy, getting his elbows out in the open exchanges. He's currently in 2nd place, number 28. And as we mentioned a couple of times before, it's so important for Max Martinez after his mechanical issue in race 1 to get some points on the board. He's not got any on the board at the minute. So after a track limits warning, he has to be really, really careful. With 11 laps to go, that's a long time to only have a couple of chances to go out on the green, because sometimes it might not even be your own fault when you run out on the green and it can cost you. So yeah, Max Martinez really needs to be careful now as Brian Oriarte takes the lead. Casey O'Gorman there in the background getting up the inside of Dodo Boggio. Alberto Ferrandez is yet to take his long lap penalty. We're just getting confirmation of it on our screens again. So the number 54, Alberto Ferrandez, the purple bike in the background. He's just looked behind him, so he's probably just checking how much of a gap he's got. So it might be that he takes it this time around. Look out for that at the back of your screen, the number 54. There's confirmation. Maximo Martinez, number 28. Track limits warning.
Yeah, not good for Max Martinez there, because, as we were talking about, yeah, it could be disastrous for his chances in this race. But leading group of 8 here, but will be a leading group of 7 as soon as Ferrandez, which is
there he is. Yeah,
taking his long lap penalty now, so that'll drop him well off the back of the leading group, probably into the second group it has done. Oh, it comes out and it's a little bit fraught in fighting there, so he drops into the mid-pack of the second group there. That's probably around about 13th or 14th spot. So that's a shame for Ferrandez, who does have pace. We've got a follower there. That looks like it might be the exit of... I'm not sure who that could be.
Is that Roosh Moodley, number 21? I think it could be, yeah, judging from the levers. Yeah, I think that's Roosh Moodley, the South African, who's unfortunately crashed out. Good to see him back on his feet. But yeah, Roosh Moodley, the South African, then the Network junior rider, has unfortunately crashed out of contention. 4 abreast is it into turn 1. Joel Esteban making the most of that, and he takes the lead into turn 1 with 10 laps to go. This is excellent racing. Joel Esteban had been a little bit quiet for a couple of laps, but just settled down and has now retaken lead where he has so often been today, and of course in Estoril as well.
Bit of a moment there for Casey O'Gorman in 6th spot there. They didn't lose too much time, but yeah, you don't want to be having any rear end slides, especially coming out of turn 2 when you're in the mid pack. So it could be absolutely horrible if that goes all wrong there. But yeah, there's a lot of bumping and boring going on throughout the field. I saw in the background some more track limits warning potentially coming our way with some riders running onto green. Is that Guido Pini running onto the green as well? Yes, so that's not the first time that he's done that. Casey O'Gorman lining up a move on Salmela, but is it Uriarte lining up a move on Esteban? No, it's quite. But once again, as we've seen so far in this race quite a lot, Uriarte, when Esteban is in front of him, is just very happy to sit on his rear tyre, not making any moves, just sizing him up, happy to sit there for the last few laps of the race.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a clever play from Brian Uriarte to just sit there and work out where Joel Esteban's quick. Obviously, he's the pole man, won all 3 races so far. So Brian Uriarte maybe can just learn a couple of things, or even if it's just for the race, just learn where Esteban's strong and where he might not be as strong, to work out where the best place is for a move. He was lining up one there, I think, got on the power well over turn 13 into turn 14. Didn't quite work out there. That was just the Aspar guys getting ready to show their pit boards to the riders now. Number 35 has got a long lap penalty. There's no one in the lead group for now, and of number 8, Mark Garcia, he's down in 17th. So yeah, a couple more long lap penalties coming in for track limits, unfortunately. Let's hope it doesn't affect these lead group. We've already got a couple of warnings, so be careful, guys. Don't run onto the green. Casey O'Gorman just having a little bit of a look round there. Face full of Dodo Boggio, the number 47.
Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult it must be to try and stay within track limits, especially when you're in a freight train of 7 riders, a 14-wheeler at the head of this race. But Yeah, it's Dodo Boggio. I'm super impressed by the Italian after that massive crash he had in race number 1. We were really unsure if he was going to make it out for this, but he has done, and he's well in the mix here. It looks like he's shaping up a move on Casey O'Gorman. Not quite yet, but you have a feeling that move might be coming anytime soon, as that's Max Martinez running out onto the green again. He's already got a track limits warning. Well, that could be curtains for his race if he picks up one more of those ones, because he will have to serve a long lap penalty. And Boggio is looking around the outside of Casey O'Gorman into the left hand at the end of the back straight. But yeah, the leading group of 7 riders, it's settled down ever so slightly at the moment, with after the craziness that was the first few laps of this race, where there were riders just ducking and diving everywhere, elbows were out. It's settled down, but you can imagine in a few laps' time it will start getting heated up again.
Nice little slow-mo replay then of the riders hard on the anchors, down a couple of gears on the gearbox and tipping it into turn 1's pretty fast left-hander, and then they'll pick the bike back up, get a good run into turn 2, a popular pass in place here in Valencia. I hope for Max Martinez's sake that wasn't, well, I was going to say, I hope that wasn't the last one, but it clearly was, because he has a long lap penalty. It's popping up on our timing screens. Rider number 28, Max Martinez, the reigning champion, has a long lap penalty to take. So unfortunately, there it is at the bottom of your screens on the ticker. Long lap penalty for Max Martinez. So is that the end of his podium hopes, Max Martinez? Usually long lap penalties cost you around about 2-3 seconds, depending on which track you're at. It's at least 2 seconds. So yeah, Max Martinez then, not the news he would have been hoping for, and that was Guido Pini running wide again as well. So Guido Pini must be flirting with a long lap penalty as well.
At this rate, all of the riders in the race, not just the leading group, will have a long lap penalty at some point. So yeah, we don't like to talk about them too much, but when they're flashing up on the screens, and then we go Max Martin again out on the green, and also Brian Uriarte. So yeah, not just one, but there could be more penalties coming through, and you would think that when Max Martinez...
Contact!
That was Uriarte off the track, and he tagged the back of Pini. So Pini, we're not sure if he stayed on, but he's lost a bit from his bike. Slaps a tank in frustration, does Uriarte, and that's given a big gap to Joel Esteban out front, especially when we've got Max Martinez about to serve a penalty. So that's going to be at least a couple of seconds, you think, back to Casey O'Gorman when Max Martinez does serve that penalty.
That's unfortunate then for Brian Uriarte. Was running in 3rd place before contact down at turn 8. And yeah, like you say, Liam, with Max Martinez in 2nd place to Joel Esteban, let's see the gap over line. It looks around about a second, but Max Martinez, of course, has that long lap penalty to take, so you can sort of rule him out of 2nd place at the minute. He's not really there. It's going to be across the line, Casey O'Gorman in 3rd place. What's the gap between Casey O'Gorman and Joel Esteban? It's 1.3 seconds, so a crucial stage of the race. Well, it was Casey O'Gorman, now it's Rico Saumele, but I think Saumele is going to run a little bit wide. Here's Uriarte back on track. Yeah, crucial stage of the race now. Joel Esteban has a good 2nd lead now, and he's into his rhythm. He's not going to have anyone trouble him for now. Yeah, just getting in there a little bit too hot. Trying to make a move was Uriarte, and just had to stand the bike up, thankfully for himself, and I think it was Guido Pini that he made contact with. None of them went down, but yeah, unfortunately for Uriarte, that is his podium hopes over.
Yeah, he's been showing great pace all weekend. He was the only one, it looked like, if Joel Esteban was able to break away, that he was the only one that could have went with him, but we're going to have to find out what's going to happen for the remainder of this race. Oh, and he's gone down as well. Uriarte has stopped down track, so maybe pushing a little bit too hard after that mistake, after collecting with Guido Pini on the previous lap. This time on the last lap, so not sure what happened there, but clear frustration there from the number 51.
There's Max Martinez then taking his long lap penalty. Keep it on the asphalt, Max Martinez, and he has done so. Yeah, avoids another long lap penalty, because of course if you don't take it properly and run wide or run onto the green paint in the long lap penalty, then you've got to take another one, which is a double dose of long lap penalty, which you do not want, because that really is a race ruiner. So Max Martinez then drops to the back of this group. He's still in podium contention, you'd say. Joel Esteban is starting to run away with this, ladies and gentlemen. Joel Esteban is cruising to a 4th race victory from 4. Let's see the gap over the line. What is it going to be? Joel Esteban crosses the line now. The gap to, Guido Pini in second place is 1.9 seconds, so pretty much a 2-second gap now for Joel Esteban. That's increased by 0.9 seconds in 1 lap. So Joel Esteban now has a comfortable margin with 6 laps to go. The battle now really is for P2 and P3, the final podium spots.
Well, it's heating up nicely. Let's battle for P2. With 4 riders there, and well, it'll be 4 riders, nearly 5 riders, when Max Martinez, who's just served his long lap penalty, gets back into the mix of things with these 4 really carving each other up. That's Guido Pini back up the inside of Casey O'Gorman into 4. O'Gorman looks like he was trying to go back into 5, but just having to sit up and take stock of what just happened there. But this gives a chance for Boggio to come up the inside of O'Gorman. He just doesn't slide up the inside, but has to sit back. But yeah, there we go. That's Max Martinez. He's only half a second, if so, behind this group for second now, so he's back in the mix.
Absolutely, yeah. He still has second well and truly on the cards there. Max Martinez has closed these guys pretty much in now after taking that long penalty. So good job there for the number 28. But yeah, this is now all about the race for second place with Joel Esteban up the road. Barring a mistake from Joel Esteban, we've not seen him make a mistake so far this year. So it's hard to believe he'll make one in the final 5 and a bit laps. Obviously, the Aspar team will tell him to keep his head down, keeping his rhythm, concentrate, but now he's got a good 2 seconds, probably more at the end of his lap advantage. So yeah, fortunately for the spectacle, it's a race for second, but Joel Esteban marches on once again with 5 laps to go. Uncatchable really, it seems, for Joel Esteban, and the race is on for second place. There he is, number 78, the championship leader. Will it be a maximum 100 points from 100 to start the season with? Time will tell. Yeah, 2.7 seconds, so his pace has really hotted up now. Another 0.8 seconds quicker on that lap.
He's been setting consistently fast lap times, 42.8 on that lap. The previous lap was a 42.7, and the lap before was another 42.7. So, yeah, just he's going for it, and that was almost tagging the side of Casey O'Gorman when, as Max Martinez looks up the inside of the Irishman, but doesn't make it stick, backs out of it just in the nick of time so they don't make any contact. But he's there, and he's making sure that he lets Casey O'Gorman know that he's ready to pounce whenever he can.
Absolutely. 4.5 laps to go. It's going to start getting busy in the podium fight. The Aspar team look on, of course, watching their man Joel Esteban probably come home for a 4th victory out of 4, and they obviously want a 1-2 here with Dodo Boggio in 3rd place currently, just behind Guido Pini. Boggio made it an Aspar 1-2 in race 1 in Estoril, crashed out of both races between then and now, and Boggio, after that race 1 crash, hefty race 1 crash, we didn't know whether we'd see him again today, but he's riding really, really well here, fully recovered, no injuries thankfully for the young Italian, and he has his sights set firmly on that 2nd place. But he's not going to have it all his own way, because Casey O'Gorman, Max Martinez and Rico Salmella are right behind him, and they can all sniff a podium as well.
Rico Salmella, even though he's on the back of this group, he's not really showing the form that he was showing in race number 1 earlier on today, after starting from the back of the grid and finishing on the podium. But it can always happen as the track changes, and the second race of the day, when it's the afternoon session, the track temperatures have come up. But with 3 laps to go, your race leader, your championship leader, Joel Esteban, leads the way with 2.4 seconds. And on that lap, Guido Pini was actually 0.2 of a second faster than your race leader, but it's a tall order to catch Joel Esteban up front. He's probably just backing off ever so slightly, just cruising home to victory.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is as well, these guys are going to be squabbling away, aren't they, to try and get on the podium. So, and obviously Joel Esteban's in a little bit of a race of his own, 2 and a bit seconds up the road, so he can just maybe batten down the hatches, not cruise home, of course, but just take his foot off the gas a little bit and just control the race from there. He's got a nice buffer. And these guys, unless a mistake comes from Joel Esteban, I don't think are going to catch him. But Max Martinez then, after his long lap penalty, is back up into 2nd place. So the reigning champion is hoping to kickstart his season here in race 2. 3 DNFs so far for the number 28. Long lap penalty and a P2 will go down very, very nicely here indeed, as we get a track limits warning for the number 99. That's Mark Algier down in 22nd place. So no worries here in the lead group, as Max Martinez then leads into turns 11. That's going to be a popular passing attempting place, let's say, as Casey O'Gorman then runs onto the green. He's just got mired out a little bit there. Rico Salmella, the number 27. They've just lost touch with 3 and a bit laps to go.
Yeah, there's thankfully no other track limits warnings coming up for the top 7. So hopefully we have this hopefully we have a clean end to the race for the European Talent Cup. And further back for British fans, Emmanuel Brinton, who took 7th in race number 1, he's back in 7th spot again, heading that group in the background. Have just come out turn at number 14. That race for 7th is really heating up from Emmanuel Brinton all the way down to Hakim Danish in 13th spot. So a 6-rider freight train in the background, so anyone can come out of that on top as well. As the group for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th are stringing out a little bit. Casey O'Gorman is just falling off the back of this group ever so slightly there. He had a bit of a moment at the exit of turn at number 10 last lap, pushed out by also Salmela, and since then he's dropped well off the mark there, with Salmela trying his hardest to close up on 2nd, 3rd and 4th with only, well, 2.5 laps remaining here. But it's Max Martinez who holds station in the moment with Guido Pini and Dodo Boggio, who'd be looking to, hopefully for his sake, pick up a podium after that DNF and horrible crash in race number 1.
There's the live championship standings then. Joel Esteban taking 100 from 100 if things stay as they are, and with his form coming into this and his form through this race, a mistake looks very, very unlikely. Joel Esteban, a wise head on young shoulders, is the young Spaniard in the Aspar team. A great team to be in and around, very experienced. Jorge Martinez Aspar, Nico Terol, and a fantastic setup is the Aspar team. Nice road to MotoGP, through the ranks here in the Junior GP paddock from the Hawkers European Talent Cup and the Junior GP class. So yeah, Joel Esteban with 2 laps to go, looking comfortable here. It's going to be a decent 2-second lead for Joel Esteban coming across the line as we turn our attentions with 2 laps to go to the final podium places battle. Max Martinez in 2nd. It's Guido Pini currently in 3rd on the 93 machine. Dodo Boggio aiming to make it an Aspar 1-2 in 4th place, with Rico Samela in 5th and Casey O'Gorman, yeah, just losing touch slightly now. He's a couple of seconds down on this fight in 6th place, but it is a lonely 6th place for Casey O'Gorman. 6th place looks like it's done and dusted for Casey O'Gorman if he just keeps it on the straight and narrow. He's got a good gap behind him.
I can tell this battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th is really going to heat up now, because coming down the straight they were all sort of side by side, elbow to elbow action, but it's all been very calm and collected so far ever since Max Martinez had his long lap penalty and got to the front of this group again. But this is European Talent Cup, it doesn't stay that way, and we've got that was Salmela running on the green there, so hopefully he doesn't pick up any penalty for that one. But with a lap and a bit to go, you'd have to run a lot of the green to try and pick up a penalty.
Yeah, let's not have long lap penalties or track limits ruining this battle, this fascinating battle for P2 and P3 in this race. Joel Esteban makes his way safely around turns 8 and 9, flicks it into 10 and 11, but we watch this group then. 1.5 laps to go. Max Martinez, the number 28, currently leading the way in this battle from Guido Pini, Dodo Boggio. Rico Samela just having a look behind him there. Sees plenty of clear track, no threat from behind for Rico Salmela. He's just got a little bit of a gap. It's around about half second, would you say, Liam, towards up to Dodo Boggio. So Rico Salmela's got a little bit of a job in his hands to claw this back in, but he can use slipstream to good effect to make this a 4-rider fight for the podium places, as Joel Esteban then starts his final lap of the race with a healthy advantage of at least 3 seconds. What is it over the line? It is 3.3 seconds. Joel Esteban cruising home to victory once again.
Barring any mistakes, this race is Joel Esteban's 4 out of 4 at the start of the season. It will be for the Spanish rider, but it's all heating up further back. Now, this is the race that we're all keeping an eye on. So Guido Pini had a bit of a moment, a bobble into turn number 2, runs a little wide. Will that give Boggio an opportunity to slip on through? I don't think it has. Coming down into turn number 4, up the inside, could it be a move for Max Martinez? No, as in Boggio's controlling this one so far for the battle for 2nd, but Boggio's looking around the outside of Max Martinez, so it's definitely anywhere. And as you were saying, Salmela's dropped off. He's found some speed again in the last half a lap, and he's now back into this fight for the podium. So Salmela is not done and dusted so far.
Turn 8 then, popular passing move. That's turn 7, the kink. Turn 8, Max Martinez not quite close enough to make a move on Guido Pini this time around. Last lap time, of course. So it's now or never for the riders in the battle for the podium. Joel Esteban cruising home to victory, but eyes focus on the podium battle. Guido Pini leading it so far. This is turn 11. That was a little bit of a dive bomb look there from Dodo Boggio, but it's all going to come down to the final corner in the final sector.
Yeah, who is going to make the move into the final corner? Cannon will make the move into turn number 12, not this time round. So it's going to be 13 and 14. Pini runs a little bit wide. Max Martinez looking around the outside. Boggio looking up the inside. It's going to be the last of the late breakers into turn number 14. Who's it going to be? Max Martinez. And we've got Boggio out wide. That's given a chance for Salmela, but it's going to be your championship leader, your championship winner. That's going to be Joel Esteban, who takes the win ahead of, who's it across the line? That's tight. That will be, was it Max Martinez? Guido Pini takes second ahead of Max Martinez, and Dodo Boggio just misses out on the podium ahead of Rico Salmela. Casey O'Gorman comes across the line in a distant 6th spot out of Alberto Ferrandez after he served his long lap penalty as well. So congratulations between the Aspar team riders, as it is Joel Esteban who takes his 2nd win of the day and 4 out of 4, Elliot.
4 out of 4 indeed, Liam. Yeah, absolutely fantastic from Joel Esteban. 100 points from a possible 100s. No better way to start the season. 2 poles, 4 victories. The Aspar team will be pleased indeed walking away from Valencia. What a race that was. Contact between Brian Ariarte and Guido Pini down at turn 8 with a few laps to go just gave Joel Esteban that advantage that he needed, and he kept his head down, kept his cool, got into his rhythm. No one was able to catch Joel Esteban. It's a 4th straight victory. Guido Pini standing on the podium, a fantastic 2nd place. That's his 2nd podium of the season. He was 3rd in race 1 over in Estoril, finished 4th a couple of times after that, including race 1 here. He maintains his place 2nd in the championship standings. Great start to the season for the young Italian. And Max Martinez, we said it was important for him to get points on the board, and that's exactly what he's done. It was disappointing race 1, a mechanical fault after a disappointing opening race, but Max Martinez, number 28, especially after a long lap penalty as well, don't forget that. A fantastic podium for Max Martinez. He has his season up and running in terms of points. That's as close as you like over the line, isn't it? 0.002 seconds, 2 thousandths of a second, splitting Pini and Martinez over the line. It literally does not get much closer than that. Joel Esteban then, the dominant force in the Hawkers European Talent Cup in 2022. We'll be hearing from him shortly with Liam down in Parc Fermé. And the Aspar team will be heading home with 3 victories today from a possible 4 after David Alonso won race 1 of the Junior GP earlier on today, this morning. Fantastic stuff from Joel Esteban. A star in the making, a future Grand Prix star. You'd have to say so, but obviously don't heap the pressure on the young kid. He's just enjoying himself and winning races. That's all he needs to do right now. Learning his trade in the Junior GP paddock, as so many riders have done on the world stage. That's great to see. Guido Pini's team giving it the full beans in Parc Fermé. The number 93 stands on the podium for the 2nd time this season. Fantastic race after contact with Brian Ariarte. Luckily for Guido Pini, he didn't lose too much time, didn't go down either. As we have video finish in progress for 2nd place. So I did say it was 2 thousandths over the line, but the guys back in the truck just obviously having a little bit of a look to see who finished 2nd place. We've got all the technology in the world here. The cameras will not lie at the end of the day, so we'll get confirmation of that shortly between Max Martinez and Guido Pini on which way round in Parc Fermé they are. Yeah, Max Martinez then, as we've mentioned a lot of times already, he's had a difficult start to his title defence. Doesn't look too overjoyed, I suppose, is the word to use his expression there. But Max Martinez, obviously, coming into this season as the 2021 champion, wouldn't have wanted to start his defence with 3 DNFs and 1. Well, 3rd place for now, could turn into 2nd place. Let's get a replay down into turn 1. That's Joel Esteban, the number 78 Aspar rider. The race-winning overtake from there on in. Joel Esteban strode clear and won in the end by 2.9 seconds. So another dominant victory for Joel Esteban. He's had 3 out of 4 races where he's strode home to victory without any problems whatsoever. And this was the final couple of corners. That's turn 13, the fast full gas on these Honda machines. We see so much drama down there, don't we, over the years? How many overtakes have we seen down into turn 14? Countless times races have been won and lost there, including today, of course. And there it is across the line, of course. Impossible to see who came out on top through the naked eye. The timing screens at the minute show it's Guido Pini, but it could well be Max Martinez. We'll get confirmation of that as soon as possible. We're going to be hearing from Joel Esteban. He's going to make his way over to Liam very, very shortly indeed. Hopefully you guys can hear the interviews at home. I've not been able to hear the last few, so hopefully you guys at home are listening to them and it's just my headset that's not working for the interviews. Then we'll get the podium ceremony in the way, and then it'll be time to pack up for the teams and riders and head home. And coming up on the 12th of June weekend, the weekend after the Catalan GP, the MotoGP riders will be there the weekend before.
Joel Esteban,
then, Joel
2
Esteban
wins
down
from
with
2 races to consolidate your championship lead. It's the perfect Sunday, right?
Yes, it's perfect. I'm very happy. It was a very difficult race because the other riders go fast. And when in the last 8 laps, I tried to do a very good pace for try to escape to the other riders. And finally, I do a good pace. And I escape, and finally P1, another P1, very happy. And thanks to all the team for this job, for his job, and my sponsors and all the people support me, and my family.
And in Spanish as well, please.
Estoy muy contento, ha sido una carrera bastante difícil, la verdad, porque al principio no tenía buen ritmo y he visto que me estaban adelantando y me he desconcentrado un poco, pero bueno, he vuelto a la concentración rápido y a falta de 8 o 9 vueltas he tratado de hacer un buen ritmo para poder escaparme, ya que mis otros rivales también están bastante fuertes para un final de carrera y bueno, nos hemos escapado y muy contento, otra victoria más y dar las gracias al equipo por el trabajo, por el increíble trabajo hecho durante este fin de semana, a mi familia, a mis sponsors y la gente que me apoya.
Congratulations, Esteban.
Thank you.
Here's the highlights then from Hawker's European Talent Cup Race 2 here in Valencia. And once again, it was Brian Uriarte getting a fantastic start from second on the grid. He grabbed the whole shot from Joel Esteban and Rico Salmela, with Max Martinez getting a good start up into 4th place in the early exchanges. Joel Esteban soon led though, not for long, but because Max Martinez made a very, very quick start, but Max Martinez's race would unravel after exceeding track limits a few too many times. He would later be handed a long lap penalty. That was a bit of a moment for Hakan Denish there. Casey O'Gorman riding around the outside. As always, it was a fantastic battle in the Hawker's European Talent Cup. Right from the off, elbows were out and the race was on for victory. 4 abreast there into turn 1. Joel Esteban always in the lead group and always looking to be leading the race when possible, and that's exactly what he did. Soon we learned that Max Martinez would get a long lap penalty, and that would drop him down to the low ends of the top 10 or the lead group. That was Brian Uriarte coming into contact with Guido Pini. That cost him a chance of fighting for the podium, and Brian Uriarte crashed out later on. Thankfully, rider okay, and that contact allowed Joel Esteban to march clear of the chasing pack, gave him a second advantage, and he just extended it from there on in, and then it all became about the race for the final 2 podium spots. Max Martinez recovering really well from his long lap penalty, but it was a good fight between Dodo Boggio, Guido Pini on the number 93 machine, Rico Salmela involved as well, and this was the final corner on the final lap. Max Martinez getting up the insides. The timing screen briefly showed Guido Pini grabbing second. It was so tight across the line, but in fact it is Max Martinez who takes second and Guido Pini in third, with Dodo Boggio just missing out on the podium, as did Rico Salmela in 4th and 5th place. Final podium of the day coming up then here in Valencia, and what a race day it's been across the 3 classes. in, of course, the Hawkers European Talent Cup, the Junior GP, 2 races each for them, and the Moto2 European Championship. The Aspar team are getting used to this, aren't they? Both in Junior GP and World Championship level. 3rd place in the end goes to Guido Pini. Max Martinez grabs 2nd place after a long lap penalty. Congratulations to Max Martinez, the reigning champion, of course. 1st points on the board. But again, race day, as well as qualifying day in Valencia, belongs to Joel Esteban. 4 wins from 4, dominant force. Can anyone stop him when we head to Barcelona in a few weeks' time? There's Ivan Ortola handing the 2nd place trophy to Max Martinez. A few of the riders here this weekend supporting some of their old friends, of course. Ivan Ortola finished 2nd in the what was then called the Moto3 Junior World Championship, now called the Junior GP Casters. We're going to get ready for the Spanish National Anthem once again for Joel Esteban. The Spanish National Anthem rings out for Joel Esteban for the 4th time in 2022, and of course they're not old enough to spray the proper stuff. That'll hopefully come for the riders a little bit later down the line when they are old enough, but the fizzy water will have to do for now. Really hot out there for riders, isn't it? You've just been down there in Park Fermeli, and what's the temperatures like at the end of the day here in Valencia?
Well, if I was saying it was warm, that'd be an understatement because it is very hot down in Park Fermeli, especially when the riders come in and the bikes they've just come off track as well. But it's very warm out there, and the riders have done well to make it to the end.
So Joel Esteban then confirmation winner of race 2 as well as race 1, excuse me. Max Martinez picks up P2 ahead of Guido Pini. Boggio was 4th ahead of Salmela, O'Gorman, Ferrandez, Jesus Rios and Guillaume Plonk in 7th, 8th, 9th. Pau Alsina rounded out top 10 with Great Britain's Emmanuel Brinton in 11th, Gonzalo Perez, Hakim Danish, Hamed Al-Souti and Carter Thompson completed the point scorers. Benyat Fernandez, Lorenz Luciano there down in 16th and 17th. Luciano was the runner-up in last year's Northern Talent Cup. Owen van Tricht, Marco Miguel, Guilo Pulice, Demis Mahalia, Blai Trias, Jose Amarillo, Marc Algier, Christian Daniel in the top 25 completing the race, as did Max Roybrook with Wojciechowski a lap down there. So here's the championship then, and put simply, it's 100 points from 100 for Joel Esteban. He leads the way going into Barcelona. You can see there at the bottom of the screen, round 3 by 42 points from Guido Pini. A sizable margin then for Joel Esteban heading to round 3, with Hakim Danish in 4th place, Rico Semela there up in 3rd place, a point ahead. There's the reigning champion, Max Martinez in 11th place, 20 points on the board. He's just ahead of Brian Uriarte, front runner here this weekend. He'll be looking to bounce back after race 2 disappointment. But yes, Hawkers European Talent Cup in 2022 has been about one man and one man only, and that is Joel Esteban. Barcelona comes up round 3 next time out in a few weeks' time, just after the Catalan GP. I'll be there with my good friend and colleague Jack Gorse to bring you all the action. And what a day it's been here in Valencia. Thank you for joining us. If you've stuck around for the whole day, then well, many congratulations to be fair, because it's a long stint here in the Junior GP paddock. But fantastic races all the way through. Thank you, Liam, for joining me. Hope you've had a good day, and we bid you farewell for now. And we'll see you next time out at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon. Bye-bye.